What I will say to you is this. The stubbornness that you're pointing to, or an unwillingness to admit where you are, for example.
Yep.
Those are the kind of things that people point to when they talk about, that's why it didn't work out with Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City. That's why it didn't work out with James Harden in Houston, okay? And that's why it ain't working out now. But we ain't letting LeBron James off the hook. LeBron James put this together. Every move, because the problem with Rob Pelinka right now, which is why some people believe that Rob Pelinka is the one who needs to be on the hot seat instead of Frank Vogel, is because Rob Pelinka he's nicknamed Mr. Pleaser. You understand? Because he's capitulating to the wishes of LeBron James, Anthony Davis to a lesser degree, but definitely LeBron James. The Lakers do not make a move without going to talk to LeBron James first. Now, LeBron James has earned that. He deserves it. I have no issue with it whatsoever. They are doing exactly what they should do with LeBron James.
Well, what other option do they have right now, even if they were to go to LeBron James?
They're doing it. But LeBron James is the one that signed off on Russell Westbrook. He didn't have to. LeBron knows that Russell Westbrook's success was predicated on athleticism and getting to the basket, not necessarily being a perimeter shooter in today's game, where being a perimeter shooter is very, very paramount when you're playing the guard position. LeBron knew that. LeBron knew that Russell Westbrook was considered relatively turnover prone, even though he was a mercurial talent. LeBron James knew this. LeBron James knows more basketball than any of us. He is a savant, okay? Which means it wasn't about basketball why you okayed that decision. That's your boy. Which is why some people say players shouldn't have the authority to make some of those decisions, because they make it based on emotion and friendships and relationships instead of what your eyes tell you as it pertains to their talent and whether it serves as a complementary piece to what you're bringing to the table. So that's really what's going on in Los Angeles. We cannot let LeBron James off the hook on what is transpiring in L.A. LeBron looks like an MVP when he's balling in terms of his numbers, but in terms of that roster, that's LeBron James' roster. He doesn't get a pass on what we're seeing because he's the one that helped formulate that roster.
But do you think that coming into the season, he thought Russell Westbrook would be the one to take such little accountability? Because even just a few days ago, we can't forget that Westbrook said that he and Vogel haven't had any conversation and enough communication as far as what his role is on the team, which is interesting because your role is to help the team win a championship, and you're not doing that.
I'll let Perk get in here, but I'll say this to you. I'll let this, and then I'll let Perk get in here. LeBron, sure, he didn't think about the accountability. We don't know if Russell Westbrook is not accepting accountability behind the scenes. I'm sure he's talking to LeBron and saying, damn, I got to play better. I got to try to do something for you. He ain't shortchanging nobody with effort, and LeBron knows that. But in the end, we're talking about what your basketball skill set is and what the basketball savant that is LeBron James should have known beforehand. That's what we're saying. Go ahead, Perk.
Yeah, you know, Stephen A., here's the thing. No one knew that Russell Westbrook was going to be this bad, okay? And look, we already knew he struggled from the outside of shooting and things to that nature, but we didn't know that the guy was going to start blowing layups and missing dunks. We didn't know it was going to get to that point. And so when I look at it, it goes back to even last year when I thought that the Lakers should have made a move and got Kyle Lowry at the trade deadline and made that move. I thought he would have been a better fit, but that's neither here nor there. And you're right. LeBron probably deserves some blame, but nobody knew that Russ was going to be this bad.
Well, wait a minute. Perk, one little thing, just so you know, because you know this. They could have had DeMar DeRozan. He wanted to be there. It was an easy deal to get done. LeBron James okayed choosing Russ over DeMar DeRozan.
But it was collectively between LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
Yeah, but I'm saying he went to Anthony Davis. He went to Anthony Davis to sell him on that too.
Right.
I'm just saying that. I know AD's in the mix too.
But look, this is my last point. At the end of the day, this big three was formed. And we watched Anthony Davis. You just spoke on this last week. He's elevated his game. Yeah. We watched LeBron James all season elevate his game. And we haven't watched Russell Westbrook yet fulfill his end of the bargain. True. And for him to not hold himself accountable, that is a problem. That is a major problem.
Yeah, and with that loss, the Lakers fall to 26-29 in the season. They're 9th in the West. And, you know, we know the trade deadline is at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Going to be really hard to get any parts moved because their team is really stacked full of maximum and minimum players, which, you know, are tough to deal at this point in time. So.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.